Yet another coastal storm is heading for the northeast United States this weekend, and it will bring rain, wind, and the potential for flooding with it. But this one's a little different than the last couple of storms we've experienced. Let's break it down and look at what we can expect this weekend. Hey guys, it's Sean with New York Metro Weather. Today is Wednesday, October 11th. I've gained a camera and a microphone. We're looking at the mid-levels of the atmosphere here. This is about 10,000 feet above our head, way up there. And what the colors are showing us here are anomalies. So we're looking at reds and blues, right? The reds are anomalously high heights, and the blues are anomalously low heights. So basically, this tells us where the ridges and troughs are in the atmosphere. And what we see here is a big ridge over central Canada acting as a block. And in our last couple of videos, I talked about why this is important, but the basics of it is it acts like an atmospheric traffic jam. So this slows everything down around it, and all these disturbances you see on this map are going to go around that block because they have nowhere else to go. They can't go north. They can't escape out to the east. The block is forcing them down. And that's why we're expecting this storm over the eastern United States later this week and this weekend. Here comes our disturbance. You'll see it shoot off to the east. The block forces it that way, and the storm eventually makes it into the eastern United States and then goes out to sea. Now, there's a couple things that have happened in the last couple of days that I think are important trends to note. And the most important one is that our storm tries to amplify into the central United States, but then it is forced down into the eastern United States. So that means that we call this de-amplifying. So instead of the storm strengthening and amplifying up, it's actually de-amplifying down into the eastern United States. That's a big difference. Instead of this big coastal storm coming up, this one's kind of getting squished off to the east as it makes its way towards the east coast. So back this up one more time. Here it comes over the central US. It's forced underneath this block. And now the vorticity we're looking at here, basically just spin in the atmosphere, shows us the storm heading eastward and getting sort of squished underneath this other storm hanging out over New England. So our system ends up sort of just getting squished off to the east underneath that system and moves off to the eastern United States. So what this has done is it's reduced a couple of things with this storm. Number one, we're probably not looking at extreme rainfall amounts, which is a great thing. And number two, we're probably not looking at extreme wind with this storm either. So here comes the simulation. Let's just get down to it, right? Friday looks like a fine day across the eastern United States. We're probably dealing with some clouds moving in late in the day. But man, for the majority of the day, it looks really good. This system is still way back here across the Ohio Valley. So here comes our storm Saturday morning. This is valid at 6 a.m. And that's when these showers and clouds are starting to move in with rain over the interior. Here comes our system now moving in. So Saturday is really the unsettled day across the eastern U.S. There will be some bands of heavier rain and some potential for localized flooding as this storm moves through on Saturday. This map valid at 4 p.m. But if we roll it forward to 1 a.m. Sunday, our coastal storm is forming now, and it's moving off to the east. So we still have some residual unsettled weather Sunday morning, but the coastal storm is not ramping up like the last several have. Instead, it's kind of just sliding away. You can see that here on the map as the storm just heads out to sea. So we'll fight off some unsettled conditions on Sunday, but this storm will just really kind of slide off away from the area. By Sunday evening, I expect that things will clear out across the mid-Atlantic and the northeast states. It's possible, if we can get the storm to move a little faster, that we can salvage even more of Sunday. We'll have to see how that goes overall. Looking at the winds, again, the last map we looked at in the video from Monday, this storm was really supposed to ramp up and it was going to bring significant wind to the coast. But now, with the storm kind of sliding away instead of wrapping in, that wind stays off the coast. We don't really get any huge significant winds. We'll still watch some of the shorelines, specifically Long Island and Cape Cod, as well as southern New England. But overall, this storm ramps up out to sea and stays south and east and doesn't produce significant wind. Looking at precipitation totals, here's the ensemble. This is a view of 50 to 100 different weather models averaged, and these amounts have come down over the last couple of days. Now we're looking at an average of less than an inch for a lot of the mid-Atlantic states and New England. The most of New England probably misses out on the core of this storm completely. But even in New York City, probably looking at just a little bit under an inch of rain on average right now on most forecast models, with a little bit heavier rains further south in the mid-Atlantic. So overall, this looks like it's going to produce rain and unsettled conditions on Saturday, but not a total disaster or not a huge extreme flooding scenario. Like some of the other storms have had the potential to be. Again, let's just run through this timing one more time before we wrap it up. Friday is good. Saturday morning, we get rain in. It's rainy, dreary, unsettled. We could have some localized flooding with this system as some of that heavier rain moves in with that increased moisture. And then Sunday morning, we wrap this up. The storm moves off to the east. Hopefully, it moves out a little faster so we can really salvage Sunday. But otherwise, Sunday morning's unsettled, and the rest of the day trends better as time goes on. And that system's out of here. We'll probably deal with some unsettled weather again next next week, but that's a conversation for another day. We'll be back with updates on this storm system in case anything changes, if it ramps up again, or if it slides even further out to see maybe we can improve this forecast a little more. For now, though, that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll talk to you soon.